Started a little early. We're going live. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Single Parent Review channel. We're so happy that you're here. Happy New Year, everyone. We are starting the year hopefully off right. And we have Jim Johnson here from WGU. If you know anything about Jim Johnson, you know he's a gold mine of information. We love being connected with him and WGU. They are a valued community partner. Jim, welcome. Thank you for being here this morning in Austin, Texas.
Thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak and share some ideas about scholarships and about higher education.
And that's what we're going to do this morning. We've been sharing this, promoting this, and sharing this with the community, as well as audiences that are interested in finding out more about how to access financial assistance, scholarships, and all the little hidden gems that you might not know about. You're about to find out about now. So, without further ado, Jim, and I'm Kim Anthony, by the way, with Single Mom Society, and we run an amazing resource hub for single parents. And so if you haven't tapped in, please make sure to tap in. So with that said, Jim, let's get started talking about it. I know we have a little pocket of time, and again, we're so grateful that you're taking this time out with us. Please let us know um, what students really need to know at the beginning of their journey as far as tapping into resources and financial assistance for school. Let's start there.
Okay, very
That's
good, good. You bet. So, there's people encounter roadblocks when they're trying to get started in education, higher education, especially adults, as they're kind of trying to re-enter into a society that maybe is 5, 10, 15, 20 years away from you now or more. And that can be a little scary. And it can be a little scary from different standpoints. One of the biggest standpoints is going to be, um, wow, how am I going to pay for this? How am I going to pay for education? How am I going to pay for a college education? Obviously, you've all heard the stories about the huge bubble of the student loan debt and all of that. People that they're not making the money they need to pay off their student loans, those type of things, and it's scary. Been a lot of press out there about, I don't know if is higher education really worth the money and all these kind of things. Well, the answer to that is in you. That's your answer. You need to come up with the answer. Is it worth it? And from a statistical standpoint, it is worth it. People that do get college education, whether it's an associate's or a bachelor's or master's or some type of doctoral degree, they're going to be making more money. I don't know specifics, but like the difference between a high school diploma and an associate's is going to be like over $1 million in your lifetime as far as income goes. So it doesn't make a difference. Yes, it does. And a lot of people get all hung up like, well, I've got to find the exactly right degree right now. How do I know? I don't have a crystal ball. They get scared. What am I going to do? How am I going to get started with this? The
yeah.
thing is, most places are looking for somebody with a degree first. And then what the degree is in matters. In some cases, like IT, obviously it's got to be an IT. But a lot of times it's like you've got a general business degree or you got a teaching degree or what, and people love it. So that's what they're looking for. So how do you pay for it? Well, first of all, a lot of employers out there have something called tuition assistance. Let me say this again.
Hmm.
Tuition assistance. It's also called tuition reimbursement. Okay, it's also known as that. What
Right.
it is, they help pay for your schooling. And these days, a lot of companies are a little bit conservative with their spending, so they might not make a big deal out of it. But you can check with your HR professional and see if there's any kind of scholarships or grants that they are offering to go back to school. And there might be conditions. It's like, well, yes, but it's just for a business degree, and that's what we'll pay for. Oh, okay. And then look into that. And then another way people, like we're talking about the student loan debt, student loans. Okay, so student loans, people go after those. Be very careful of them. They're very easy to get, they're very easy to spend, but they're very difficult
Mm.
to get back. And so watch out for those. It's not that they're bad, because they're not bad. They're like any kind of loan, but don't go bananas with them. If you ever have to use one, use it, pay it back immediately. Use it that way, and that actually helps build your credit. So that can be
Can I
good.
ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Um, Do you happen to know the difference between the subsidized and unsubsidized loans, and which direction? I know that might be a little more intricate. I just remember that was something that came up when I was even looking for my children, and they were kind of, leaning. I went to a couple of counseling sessions about that.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have any, behind the scenes about that? If not, I mean, I know that that's something I would encourage people to kind of consider as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What I would say about that, no, I don't have a lot of information about that. What I
Mhm.
would say is talk to your counselor at the school that you're
Right,
speaking with about what would be the best path for one of those, if indeed it's a track that you want to take. A lot of
right,
times you might want to use a student loan just to get you over the first hump. So
right.
you're going to get a scholarship, or you're going to get tuition reimbursement from your workplace. But how do you pay for it right off the bat? Because most of the time you're going to pay for your schooling immediately. Okay, so you're going to need some, and if you don't have a lot of resources to do that, a student loan can work in your favor. But it's easy not to get back. Oh, we got to pay for new water here. We can't pay for the student loan. No, you got to pay that student loan back. Okay, so then back to the, so what we're really looking into then is scholarships.
Mhm.
How do you get free money that never has to be paid back? And the bad side of free money is it's never guaranteed that you're going to get it. Okay.
Yeah,
But you got to be a little bit like, I want to get in there and go after it. You got to go after it, because you can't get it if you don't go after it. And let me tell you, it's
right.
not as difficult to win or to achieve as like the lottery or something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Here at WGU, from my own personal research, it looks like about 1 out of 4 people that apply for a grant or scholarship with us actually they do get awarded that grant or scholarship. So
Really?
yes, so it just depends on where and what it is. But here's the deal about scholarships. It's pretty interesting. They're everywhere. They are absolutely everywhere. But you know what? They're underneath the surface. They're underneath.
Mm.
You have. They're not deep down, but they're just under like a layer of leaves or something. You don't see them. But if you start raking, you start to say, "Oh, look what's out there. There's opportunity for scholarships." So the thing to do is to start looking for scholarship opportunities. And where do you look for those? Well, if you're talking to a school like WGU or any other school, what you want to do is see what they have. And so, like our scholarships, there's the our website for our scholarships. It's kind of a lighter blue, or it's blue. It's a little harder to read, but that's where you would go to look for that. And then, also, I'm going to talk about
I'm
scholar.
I'm sorry, Jim. I just popped it in just when you segue to it, but I didn't want it to take a move
Oh
you
no,
out the way. Sorry about that.
no, this is perfect. This is great, because I want people to see that. That's just for our scholarships. What's in blue there? That link is for scholarships at WGU. And we have awarded over $20 million in scholarships nationally last fiscal year. So we do have a lot of scholarships and grants. In fact, one of the grants we have is an opportunity grant of $10,000. And it's for people that basically don't have citizenship, and they can't get, but they want to get going on some schooling. So what I would encourage you to do when you have a minute, well, actually more than a minute, when you have a few minutes, to go to that site and explore it and find out what's available. Because we have scholarships for healthcare people. Want to become a nurse or something? Look at those. We got scholarships for teachers. We got scholarships for people going into business. We got scholarships for people going into IT. And we also have just general scholarships. And of course, being a member of Single Mom Society, there's a scholarship through our partnership that you can
Yeah,
apply for as well, of $2,500. So you can
wonderful.
take a look at all those scholarships. If indeed you do get awarded one scholarship from WGU, that would be it. Well, you can just get one scholarship from us. or from basically any entity. But you know what? There's a bazillion entities out there. So don't stop.
Mm.
Don't stop there. Keep sending stuff out. Because here's the general idea for scholarships. You might not think that you're the greatest writer in the world or all these things, okay? But here's what the premise of applying for scholarships gets down to. Generally, it's going to be essay questions. Now, people, I know some of you are starting to freak out right now. Essay questions, it's
They
not that
do.
difficult. I do.
Okay.
I understand that. I used to be afraid to write too. It isn't that difficult, and you don't need to get all hung up about it. The main thing about writing is just start writing, even if it's horrible. Just write. That's what we
Okay.
got now. We got Word files and stuff instead of In my day, we started off on typewriters, and then you had to rip the sheet out, tear it up. Now
Right.
you've got a nice little file that you can sit there and read all day long. So it's not a big deal. So here's the
Right.
deal: like at WGU, there's 4 questions that they ask for any particular scholarship. What it mainly has to do with: how are you going to use this money? Well, duh, we're going to go after a degree. Yeah, but why is it important? Who's going to benefit from it? You, your family, maybe, probably, right? Are you the
Right.
first generation going to college? Ooh, that sounds pretty exciting. Are you
Mm.
going to go into social work? Are you going to go in and try to help our society or some other society in the world to improve? Or you want to lift up? You want to move out of poverty? All these things. You write an essay about those things. And the
Mhm.
first time out, it's going to take a little time. You're going to need a few hours probably to put something together, right? But after that, it's called cut and paste. So the next
Mhm.
scholarship you go after, boom, I already got everything put together. Oh, okay, well, I got to tweak this a little bit because this is specific to IT. The other one wasn't, but this one is because I'm going to go after an IT degree in cybersecurity, let's say. So now you want to talk a little bit more about that because that's a
Right.
key factor, right? So,
Right.
but the tweak. And then you just shoot that off because all electronic, you don't have to put any stamps on any envelopes anymore. All right. So it's very simple to apply for scholarships. It doesn't cost you anything except for some time, right? Little, elec-
Right.
little electricity to run the computer. So that's really the simple premise of what it gets down to. Now, how do I find scholarships? Well, first, like we were talking about, the schools that you're looking at, look at the scholarships that they have. Pop up that screen again because I want to talk a little bit about
Yes,
scholarship units.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Hold on
we
one second.
WGU has contracted with working with an organization called Scholarship Universe. So I want you to Google that. These are scholarships that are good for any school, or basically any school. I'm sure there's a few caveats there, but it's for general college work. Okay, so Scholarship Universe, we put that on our site. That's a place where you could go and apply for scholarships. And if you can get one of those and get one of ours, great, because that's a whole different. Scholarship Universe has a list of authentic, genuine places where you can feel safe to go after those scholarships. Because if you start googling scholarships on your phone or your computer, you're going to have everybody and their brother, popping things up. Send us $100 and we'll get you $1 million in scholarships and all this kind of jazz. Don't believe,
Right.
don't believe that. Okay, it's just
Okay.
it's kind of scammy stuff that you're going to run into with anything. So watch out for the scammers. Go after stuff that's legitimate. Another source for scholarships can just be your hometown stuff. The grocery store you go to, HEB here in Texas, they do have scholarships available for people. Usually they have a poster up around the restrooms, and that isn't always there and stuff, but you can Google that. Or your local churches, synagogues, temples, and such. A lot of times have some money for people to go to school. It could be companies that are near where you live, or just general companies. It isn't that you have to work for that company necessarily. Okay, so there's a lot of foundations out there. A lot of companies do philanthropic. Let me see if I can say this word: philanthropic work. Okay,
Right.
I got
Right.
it. I got it. I
You
went
did
down.
it. You got it. I always dibble with that word. It's like it's that tricky little word. You got it.
Or 2 syllables gets to be a challenge for me. So
I
anyway,
love
look
that on a Friday.
play on a Friday. So just look around for scholarship opportunities because they are out there, and they're going to
Okay.
vary. Some of them are $500, some of them are $5,000. I mean,
Right.
look around and see what's available. Obviously, if you go out and find something that isn't quite as well publicized, you may have a better chance of getting that money because not everybody knows about it. Secondly, most people are just going to go, "Oh, I'll never get it. I'll never get it." I never went after scholarships myself. My dad paid for my college education, which was something he said he'd do for all the kids because he wasn't going to go to college. He came from a rather poor family. They didn't have
Mm,
money for college,
right.
and it was the Great Depression. As you can see, I'm not exactly a kid. So my dad grew up in the 20s and 30s, and but he went off to World War II and came back and he had
Wow.
made it back, and he was able to do the GI Bill. So he's able to get a law degree and had a very successful career as a lawyer and
Awesome.
a judge.
With that
Yeah.
GI Bill, my dad had that GI Bill too.
Yep.
Made a difference for a lot of people.
So if you're in the military, I'm glad that came up. So you're in the
Yeah.
military, there's money, and you're going to know more about that already. You can do the different GI Bills that are out there, and sometimes people go, well, the one. If I do an online program, I don't get the housing, or I only get a partial housing, or whatever. That isn't as good of a deal. Well, kind of depends. How much travel did you have to do to get to the brick and mortar? What do you have to
Right.
pay? What extra fees do you got to pay for parking, etc. So I mean, you have to look at the whole thing, look at the whole enchilada together instead of just one piece of it as the main idea. But I mean, if the brick and mortar is a better choice for you, then that's what you need to do for the military situation. Also, look for schools that are military friendly, that are going to bring in your
Mm,
credits, and that they can transfer some things over. WGU is a military friendly school, but there's many of them
mm.
out there. Take a look around. If you want associates, I mean, look at the community colleges. CTC in Killeen is terrific.
How do you
Can
know if a school is a military friendly? Not to interrupt you, but just out of curiosity.
They're going to state it on their website, and you can
Okay.
also look up. There's many military sites that will list the colleges and universities that are considered military friendly. So you
And
can look.
military friendly means that they have a little bit more accommodations, or what does that typically mean
It
for the
typically is
student?
more accommodation for the military. It could
That's
just because
awesome.
you could be an active duty person, the veteran, even the spouse, a military spouse. So
That's
that can come
great.
into play. Yeah, that can come into play. So that's important. And also here in the state of Texas, this is something that's just super duper. A lot of people don't know about. If you enlisted, okay, if you enlisted in the state of Texas, then you are eligible for something called the Hazelwood Grant. The Hazelwood
Mm.
Grant. And what that is you get to go to any state school, which are going to be what? The community colleges and the
Mhm.
state schools. So Texas
Right.
State, University of Texas, Texas A&M, all of those. You go to those for free. You know what else? It's transferable. Uh-huh. Yeah. You can transfer that to your spouse. You can transfer that to your kiddos. So don't let that money sit at the table. It isn't actually money. What it is they have to allow you to go to school free. Now, don't tell anybody I said this, but a
Okay.
lot of
This
state
we
schools.
these are the secrets. We talked about the gems that you were going to share, Jim.
I didn't say this, okay? But a lot of
Okay.
state schools might not get back to you super fast if you are, going to want to use the Hazelwood because they don't make any money from you, okay? So be dynamic about going after that.
Yeah.
You
Still
can,
pursue it.
yeah, they might not call you back immediately. Let's just put it that way. So you just be proactive, you'll be fine. But I just wanted to mention that.
That's awesome, though. You said Hazelwood, right?
Wood, yeah, the Hazelwood Act,
Hazelwood.
and
Okay.
so that's something through the state of Texas. You have to have enlisted in the service, whatever branch, in the state of Texas. If you enlisted
Okay.
in Oklahoma, no money. So that money is for
Mm.
you. One of the coolest stories. Well, first of all, you can't use it at WGU. We are not a state school. Okay. So I'll just let you know that. It doesn't behoove me or benefit me to tell you about this, but it benefits
Right.
you. So, well,
Right.
one of the best experiences I had is I was at an event. This is many years ago. Um, and a gentleman came up who was a Vietnam era veteran. And he said, I really want to go back to school, but I can't afford it. And I said, well, yeah, I'm sure you don't have any GI Bill or anything left. He goes, they didn't even give us that. I never even had it. I opted out or whatever it was. He just didn't have anything. And I said, well, did you enlist in the state of Texas and then go to Vietnam? He goes, yes. And I said, well, then you've got the Hazelwood Act. And he goes, no, I'm sure I don't. It's been so long. It's been so long. I've just given up on it. I've just given up on it. And I said, sir, would you do me a personal favor? And he said, yeah, okay, well, what do you mean? Yeah, well, what? And I said, right over there is Austin Community College, and right next to it is the Austin VA with information tables. Would you just devote 3 minutes to walk over and ask them? Just 3 minutes is all I'm asking from you. Would you do that?
Wow.
Oh, yeah, okay, I will. So then other people are coming by. I got distracted. I mean, I was talking to all sorts of folks. It was a very busy event, all that. About 20 minutes later, he came back with tears in his eyes because he's going back to school. He's going back to school. So the Hazelwood Act is there. It's a little bit different than a scholarship, but it is basically a grant. So anyway,
what a heartwarming story, though. Like if he hadn't had that conversation with you and been open to trying to going over there, because some people are like, no, they've been so discouraged, they feel beaten, they feel defeated, and they're like, no, I don't want to go down another road and be disappointed. But he was open to that and went over there and discovered that. Those are the stories that really make the difference. These are the resources that make the difference, and finding out about this is just phenomenal. So we appreciate you sharing that.
There's so many resources out there that we just don't know about. So you just have to talk to people, and you're going to run into dead ends, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. As I was telling you earlier, we have a house from the 1800s, and when we bought it and moved in, she's in rough shape, and the front windows are being held together by duct tape, and south-facing windows, they had been beaten up by the Texas sun. So I applied for this brand new grant from the local historical society. They were just starting. My wife was saying, well, I don't know. Is that? And I said, I think I'm just going to have fun with it. Even if we don't get the money, it would be kind of a cool thing just to have all this information together about this historic house, and maybe apply for something later or use it for some other purpose. Well, anyway, we got $5,000, and it was a grant. And so let's talk about scholarships and grants. You don't have to pay either of those back. Okay, you never have to pay those back. Those are free money. That's money for you. You don't have to pay them back.
Well, it's worth it. It's worth it if you have to write an essay or spend a little time on the front end of it. It sounds like it's worth it in the end.
I think if you would just say to yourself, I will devote 20 hours in the next months to going after scholarships, and just see what happens. And so what I think you're going to be able to lose is time. Okay, and maybe just cut out something that's kind of silly or superfluous that's in your life and just do this instead. And just like exercise or something like that, just say, I'm just going to do it. And
Jim,
just put it together.
You said the scholarship universe. I'm going to pop your slides in here again because I know there was a second slide, but I want to just make sure that they know that is again, because you shared that wonderful resource with us. That is a good place to start, a great place to start. There's extensive scholarships on that page, right, or on that resource bank.
Yeah, extensive, genuine, bona fide scholarships. No sketchy thing, no bait and switch or anything going on. These are all very legitimate. So you can check that out, and it doesn't matter what school you go to. You can do it with us or with any other school that's a good fit for you.
Okay.
And then why don't you pop up the next slide? Just touch base on that real quick before we finish.
Yeah.
So just a little bit about WGU, who folks out there who don't know us quite yet.
Right.
Western Governors University was started by 19 governors back in 1997. They pooled resources from each state. Now, it sounds like we're a state school. We're not, because it's all these states, right? They pooled some resources, got it started. After a year or two of intense struggle, The Department of Education came in and said, "This is really cool. This is going to be great for the 21st century. We're going to give you what? A grant." Yes, grant. We didn't have to pay it back. So they gave us a grant to get some things rocking and rolling. So boom. And so let's fast forward to today. How many students does WGU have? 148,000 current students. 148,000 current students. We don't have any ceiling on what we can do. Is it a situation where you can't get in because we're too full? No. Is it a situation
Mm,
where you can't get in because your GPA isn't stellar? No. Nothing like that. Oh, because I live in the country? No. I don't make a lot of money? No. None of those things are going to stop you from going to our school. We are a very democratic university. We're here to serve the underserved. So we have, for that reason, flat rate tuition. You've probably never heard of that, but if you've ever been to an all you can eat buffet, that's what we are. You're going to pay one set fee for 6 months of school, start any month you want, and it's going to cover as many courses as you can get done in that time frame. Whether that's a lot or just the minimum, which is going to be 4 courses for a bachelor's or 3 for a master's. But you can get 40 done, or if you can finish a degree, it's feasible. Is it likely? No, but it's feasible. It depends on your schedule and your ability. So flat rate tuition is super cool. It's a resource fee. Are you going to spend thousands on books? No, you're not, because everything's covered under that resource fee. You don't have to buy any books. And third, again, we're talking about options for financial aid. So we do have scholarships. We awarded more than 20 million last year. We do have community college partner scholarships. So if you're coming out of a community college, there's a special scholarship we can get handled for you there. Well, we can accept Pell Grants, so if you can get that, or federal loans, boom. And then we have half the national average of student loan defaults, which means, what does that mean? That means that we really help people accomplish their degree. We're really flexible. So that part about you can get as many courses done as you can, yeah, you can speed through. But here's the other side of that that's really good. You can also slow down. Let's say
mm,
something huge happens in your life that you have to stop for a week or two or a month or whatever. Go ahead and stop. You're not going to get an incomplete. You're not going to get kicked out of school. This is your school. This is your schedule. So that's how we work it. And I can tell you more about that. If anybody, any of you, the next slide, please. If you
yes,
want to check
absolutely.
me, um, there's my email address, jim.johnson@wgu.edu. And there's my phone number. It's in the Austin area, 512-436-5214. That is both text and call. And also, you can just check us out, excuse me, at our website, wgu.edu. Excuse me. I love getting a little dry. It's all that dry air blowing around right now.
Yes,
So,
that cold air too.
old dry air. So, anyway, you're welcome to reach out to me any old time. We can schedule a little chat, a one-on-one chat. I'd be happy to do that. And if you just want to have questions about school in general, it has nothing to do with WGU. Be happy to help you. And I also have lots of connections at different schools, and I can get you, recommended over to maybe somebody at a community college or another university that would be a good fit for you, so you can kind of, cut through and get the information you're looking for.
Jim, I just adore you and all of the commitment that you make in serving our communities. It's it speaks volumes of WGU. They are very fortunate to have you aboard, and we are very fortunate to be connected with you. And we want to thank you. I'm thanking you personally for taking the time out today to share these amazing resources. Jim shared his information. Connect with him. I don't know of a lot of people who put their phone number out there. That speaks to his commitment, his his candor, and we truly truly appreciate you. So thank you for taking the time out.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, all of you who are checking and watching this on the replay, who watched it live. We're so happy that you're connected with us. Stay connected with us. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim. Stay connected. You can tell the kind of conversations we have when we're out. Thank you for everything. This is actually being recorded on a Friday, so we're heading into the weekend. But whenever you're watching this, we hope that your family is well. Hopefully, you're having an amazing start to the new year and have a wonderful new year. Thanks for checking in with us. We'll see you the next time. Stay tuned. We have some amazing things coming your way in this amazing 2024. So thanks, Jim. We'll talk soon.
Have
Bye,
a wonderful.
everyone.
Bye.